Welcome to the Virginia Department of Conservation and Recreation's Nutrient Management Plan Writing Module Training. This video will cover the plan mapping portion. When you first create a plan, it will take you initially to the Details tab of the plan. There isn't much else you can fill out relating to soil samples, crop rotations, or nutrient applications until you create maps in the plan. To create maps, you'll find the globe in the right-hand corner of your screen. If you hover over it, it'll say View Plan Map. You'll click on that and it'll take you to our mapping feature. From here, we'll draw out all the land related to this plan, which will then associate soils to the land, and from there we can add soil samples, nutrients, and crops as needed. There are a couple of different ways of which you can go about searching and creating maps. If you have files already created as shape files through ArcGIS or other similar software, we have an import shapefiles function here. There are several videos linked on our website that go through that import shapefile function. If you do not have any shapefiles, we have a draw button over here. To find your acres that you're looking for, we have a location search up here. This can be a latitude, longitude, a mailing address, a city, whatever is most useful for you. So I will type in an address that I have for my farmer. Once you have that in, hit go, and it will direct you to the address you searched. From there, you can zoom in and out as needed, either through the zoom in and out button here, or by simply zooming in and out with your mouse. Before you start any of the mapping features, I would highly recommend checking out this last button over here on the left called the TOC, which is an abbreviation for Table of Contents. If you click on that, it will open up a list of features that are highlighted, and this is road names, waterway names, all kinds of information relating to that. You'll see there's many different boxes highlighted and opened up here on the left. If you go down and click on this box next to current plan, it will shrink up all the information relating to whether you want to display road names and waterways and information like that. If you go down further to all planned land units and click on that button, it'll open up another series of drop-down boxes. From here, clicking on the statewide planned land units box will turn on a layer that lets you show all acres in nutrient management planning, all acres that are in conservation planning, and all resource management plan acres. This will help you not draw over current acres, and it will also let you borrow acres from other plans if they have been mapped in the system. If they're actively in another nutrient management plan, you will not be able to copy them into your plan. If they are in an expired plan or in a resource management plan or conservation plan, you'll be able to copy those acres without having to draw them out. To copy an acre, you see here I turned on this layer. Everything in blue is a nutrient management plan or was a nutrient management plan. If I click on this box here, say that's a field that I want to look at, you'll see that it has an expired plan that I'd previously written. And since it's an expired plan, I can click Add to Plan as Land Unit. From there, I'll fill out the identifier, name, and usable acres. Again, this is a red asterisk and it's required. The identifier is what will be the unique identifier to that field. You can't have two field fives in a plan. So this is what you would use to associate the information to that field. Often a planner can use tract or field information if it has FSA numbers, or you can use how the farmer soil samples it, whatever works best for you and the farmer. For this example, I'll say I want to use tract. If it's tract 150 through the FSA and it's field 5, I'll fill out that information. You only have a certain amount of unique identifiers that you can put in here. So spelling out tract and field, not only does it take a long time to type out, but it gets a little bit beyond how many identifiers I can have in there. The name then was filled out. This can be the same through different identifiers. So if I want to call this the forest field and I have 4 forest fields, that works totally fine. From there, if you have spoken with a farmer and know of tile drainage, if it's adjacent to a waterway, if it's irrigated, or if there's sinkholes or in a floodplain, you'll check this box, which will highlight that it's environmentally sensitive. Also, if it's drained land, you want to check that because that might change the value system of that soil. The description here is for information that you want to highlight. If it's want to group it in a specific soil sample set, a specific information, you can fill out that description. The FSA farm number, tract, and field are also able to be filled out. They don't have to be filled out. These are just ways to view the fields when you are creating nutrient applications. So from there, if I want to fill out the information relating to that, I can, but you notice there's no asterisk, so I don't have to fill out that information. The calculated area is what the GIS box is showing. However, that calculated area might not match what the FSA map says exactly or what the farmer implicates that field is, and that's fine. To avoid us having to constantly move our cursors to try and match that perfectly to what the farmer says this field is, if they say it's 2.5 acres, I can simply type in 2.5, and this is what will show up on the cover page. Once you are happy with that field, you can click Save. When you see this data spinning, it hasn't saved yet. You need to wait until the land unit added successfully box pops up, and there's my land unit. You can see it's slightly different from the original one that's turned on because I moved it a little bit. If, say, I want this field here that doesn't have a blue box, red or black in it, meaning it was ever mapped before, we can certainly take that as our own. We'll go over here, we'll click Draw, and from there we'll start clicking with our mouse to draw out how we want to look at this field. And again, it's good to turn on these boxes so I'm not overwriting the land. We do allow a certain amount, so if my field overlaps a tiny bit, it will not give a flag. However, if my field would overlap with an active field by a significant portion of that field, it would come up with an error. So I want to make sure that I have it drawn out how I want to. Again, the identifier has to be unique to that, so I can type in my tract information, field 4. But again, if I want to name it forest field, I certainly can in the name section. Don't have to fill out the FSA information, but I do need to fill out the calculated areas button. And when I'm happy with that, I can click Save. Land unit was successfully added. Now there are a few options that you can do to edit this field. Say this field wants to be split into 2. This part's mainly going to be corn and that one's going to be beans, or vice versa. I can go up, and when you're highlighting a box, it will highlight whatever map unit you're in, and your identifiers will sort by name alphabetically and then numerically. If I want to edit my field 4, I can click Edit. If I want to split this tract, I can click Split, and I will then click to start drawing. I'll click outside the area that I want to edit, and then on the other side, double click to create that split. And from there, it will update the information. So now I have 2 fields, my initial one, and then the split of this. If I want to go and edit the name and say this ends up being the big split, I can do that. And you'll see that the calculated areas and the usable area has updated to reflect that split. And again, my land unit was saved successfully. From there, you can enter as many fields as you need to, either through drawing, through copying land acres, or importing a shape file.